Hello everybody, this is Jean. Today I'm working on my 100 Things project, trying to make 100 things from things that I've already got. And this is numbers 41 to 45. My first project is making a box for my positivity deck, which is a Facebook group by Kylie Koo. And this is the inspiration for the box. This is an old set of cards. I've never used them. I inherited them. And I couldn't bear to use them. I couldn't bear to paint over the backs of those. And then this one as well. This is an old set that's never been used of lexicon cards. I don't really know what lexicon is. I think it's a word game, like a bit like Scrabble, forerunner of Scrabble, I think. So I'm going to try and make something like that to store my cards. So I had 2 of these boxes of chocolates. Well, it was Christmas. So I started by cutting the bottom part off each one. Then the 2 boxes, well, the cards, I made sure the cards fitted into the box. And made sure the 2 boxes fitted together. Now they did fit together, but once I'd put coverings and things on them, the fit was a bit tight, so I did have to alter the inside box a little bit. I did have to cut it down. I didn't show that in the video, it was a bit fiddly. So I covered the inside box with black gesso. And the outer box I use a drop paper which had interesting patterns on it, and I just glued that on with a glue stick. And then to make it more of the right colour, I added some of the colours that are on the cards and on the little notebook. So these are gelatos. There's a purple colour, a light green, and then a turquoise. And then to make it match both the cards and the little notebook, I stenciled with a purple acrylic paint all around the box. Then to neaten up the edges and to strengthen it a bit, I use this nice marbled washi tape and just use that to cover the top edges. Forgot to mention I did reinforce both boxes by sticking some extra card. It was quite thin card, so I just stuck extra card all over it. Then this is the inside box, and I covered all of the edges with the washi tape, partly for reinforcement, partly to make it look nice. And I don't show that bit, but I did actually put washi tape all the way down the front of the box. Put a little bit of ribbon on because it made it easier to pull in and out of the outer box. And so that was my box. Project number 42 was my journal cover that I did for a Nina Ribena project, which was all about words. And so this was my cover, which used up lots of scrapbook paper, which I've had for years and years. This is my next project. I decided to make some inchies. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I have done this project before, and I do show you the first attempt at it a bit later on. I use this nice napkin, which I'm really hoarding, but I need to use, which I got in Happy Mail from Kylie Koo. And I cut out the butterflies. Usually I would have torn them out using water, but they're so small and they're so close together, it's quite hard to use water on them. So I stuck those to a piece of turquoise card and then Mod Podged over the top. And here I'm putting a border around each one. I made 10 altogether. So this is just a Sharpie, black Sharpie. And then I put white dots all around the outside, just to make a nice neat border. This was actually my second attempt at these. My first attempt was a fail, but you will see that in my next Nina Ribena project, because I did manage to resurrect them in a different way. So here I'm adding Versamark ink over the whole thing, and then this is clear embossing powder, which I've never used before, and I don't think I've quite got the hang of it, but they did turn out okay. I wanted them to look like glossy tiles. I did put 2 coats on each one. I probably could have done with putting a third coat on, but anyway, that's how they turned out. My original fail, I used glossy accents, and that I made a mess of that, but you'll see that in the Nina project. Then this is a piece of quite stiff wire, and I've got these little square cubic beads in blue, and I'm adding those onto the wire to form a bit of a hanging at the top. And then I'm going to use my glue gun to attach the little tiles to the wire. I'm not very good with a glue gun. I don't think it's a very good glue gun actually, but I'm not good with it anyway. But I did manage to attach them, and it did turn out neater than the first attempt, which I'm not showing you. And then I put a bead in between each tile, and I attach all the 10 tiles on each side of the wire, 5 on each side. I don't show all of this, it's very repetitive. And I do show you the end result. And there it is, my butterfly tile hanging, and there it is hanging on my wall. So I'm quite pleased with that, but it could have been better. That was my original one that I made a long time ago, when I first started to make inchies. This is Project 43, and this is thanks to Cat Hand, one of Cat Hand's recent videos, which was making embellishments using your paper scraps. And she used wooden pieces, all different shapes and sizes, and I didn't have any wooden shapes. I did have 1 or 2, you'll see later on, but I didn't have very many, so I made these by sticking together, I think, 3 or 4 layers of thin card, and they made quite a nice chunky base. And then just covered this with lots of little pieces, tiny pieces of scrap paper, all different colours. So I made 3 of these altogether, covered them with Mod Podge, let them dry, and here I'm trying to trim around the edges, which was a very fiddly job, and I didn't remember to keep it in shot, so I haven't shown you very much of that. So they're the 3 that I made. I went round the edges with potting soil, archival ink, just to make them sharp, and I put a little gem in the middle of each one. So they were 3 embellishments done in the style of Cat Hand. Now I also did some other shapes. Again, they were all made out of several layers of cardboard, and I can't show you the video for these because I did them in front of the television. It was very relaxing while I was watching something mindless. So I did it the same way. I stuck lots of bits of paper on. These are the wooden embellishments, the hearts. The other ones I made out of card. The only difference here was that I thought the colours were a bit too vivid, and so I put a piece of just plain tissue over the top. Actually, I think it might have been the inside part of a napkin, and that sort of toned it all down. And then I stuck various things on. You can see I stuck butterflies on one, and I stuck various embellishments and things on the others. And then I went round the outside of each one again with potting soil. And then I stuck some inspiring words on most of them, so that I can use these when I want an inspiring word on my art journal pages. I didn't stick any on the butterflies because there wasn't really anywhere to stick them, and I didn't stick any on the flowers, so they are just going to be decorative. But I do quite like those. And then finally, project number 45. This is something I've had for a long, long time, a packet of Shrinkies. I've no idea where I bought them from. It must have been the local craft shop. I've never tried it, and I did have fun with this. So I started with this stamp set that I think I got free with a magazine. And I like the style of it. It's the modern sort of, it's quite popular at the moment, this sort of script type style. But the trouble is, it's quite big, and unless you've got a big art journal page, it's too big. So I decided to try and see if it would make small embellishments with the words on. So you can do this in the oven. I did do one in the oven and it did work, but it took a long time, and it said you could do it with a heat gun, so I thought I'd try. Now, I'm showing you the whole of this at the right speed because I just wasn't brave enough. And so it did say it would crinkle and it would fold up on itself, but if you kept on going, it would undo itself, and I didn't believe it, so I kept on trying to pull it apart. Anyway, you'll see one done properly later on. Sometimes they do stick to themselves and you do have to lever them apart, and sometimes you can't and you just have to throw it away. But if you're brave enough and keep on going, it does actually unfold, and then you're supposed to put something heavy over the top just to flatten it. So that's what I did, and I really was really pleased with that. So I did quite a few of these then, all different words, and I will do some more because I do like this script, but as I say, it's too big for most of my purposes. So these are the results then that I got. The only thing I would do differently next time, I would try and be a bit cleaner. I did work out afterwards that you could clean once you'd got a mark on there. If you were quick, you could clean it off. But I didn't know that at the time, so some of them look a little bit grungy, but that's okay. Then I did some stamping on the Shrinkies. So I did all sorts of things really. This was a flower, which I cut all around the edge of so that I ended up with a circular piece that I could use. That one did stick to itself. I did have to I did have to pull that apart a bit, but it's okay, it worked. I put this in to show you that I had trouble with this. I don't know why I had trouble. It's not easy when it's a small piece like that, but if you keep on going, it does work. It does flatten itself, and it does actually work. I was really pleased with that. And this one went a lot better. You just see how I really had fun with this. I really was quite surprised at how well it went, how nice the results were. This is an indigo blue stamp. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but it was a nice clear stamp, so I thought, it would be useful. Again, that folded back on itself, but I managed to unfold it and it worked well. There were one or two I had to throw away in the end, but most of them worked well. And these are the ones that I kept. Now, there are some little fairies there. They didn't work very well because they were too detailed. So unless you can see through them, if you just put them on a white page, they just look black. They don't look like anything. But these are the ones that were successful, I thought. That's my little sunflower. No, not a sunflower, chrysanthemum or something, I think it is. I thought the owl worked beautifully. Definitely do some more of those. And that is a sunflower, and I thought that worked quite well too. I'll use that again. And then these were words that were on a particular stamp, and it really comes out quite well, I thought. And that's another art stamp, different lettering. You can't have too much art. So there we are. So I now have another 5 projects, only another 55 to go. Here I am writing in the book. So all I can say now is thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I hope you click that little bell so that you're informed about future videos. See you all again soon. Bye for now.